Hey everyone, welcome to today's special video. I'm going to show you how to repair these scratches with touch-up paint and achieve results like this. This is actually my first time doing this kind of work and I'm following Chris Fick's amazing video. I've always known it's possible to fix scratches with a touch-up paint, but I've been hesitant to try it myself. The scratches on the car I bought gave me the perfect opportunity to give it a shot. After all, if it didn't work out, I could always take it to a professional, so I had nothing to lose. For this job, we need the paint code for our car model to order the right touch-up paint. I got mine on eBay. You can also find the paint code inside the engine bay or on the door frame when you open the driver's door. For example, my paint code is EEH and it's located right here. If you can't find the code, you can use your car's VIN number on websites like Parts.OUQ to look it up. Just press the I button and see that one of the parameters refers to your paint code. On my Suzuki, it's ZDK. Once you have the code, head over to eBay or your favorite shopping site and search it with the words touch-up paint. In my case, the kit also came with an anti-rust primer for spots with rust and the clear coat was already included in the paint, so there's no need to apply the clear coat separately. Beside the touch-up paint, you will need the following: wet sanding paper in decreasing grits, 5000 grit, 3000 grit, 2000 grit and 800, a sponge, the touch-up paint, a spray bottle with water, rubbing alcohol, masking tape, polish and polishing pad, wax or another product to protect the paint in the end, and a microfiber towel. Let's start with a quick explanation of the difference between a deep scratch that requires paint and a flat one that does not. We'll spray some water on the scratch. If the scratch is deep enough to have penetrated the paint, you will still see it even if the surface is wet, meaning it will need paint to fill it. A flat scratch won't show up when wet and will be removed with the polishing steps after the paint job. Right now I'm going to focus on just one scratch on the door. I can feel it with my fingers, so I know it's deep. I've marked the area around the scratch with masking tape to keep things neat for filming. The first step is to sand the scratch with 800 grit paper. Cut a small square of sandpaper and fold it to match the width of the scratch. Then, sand in straight lines, no circular motions, until you can no longer feel the lip around the scratch with your finger. After sanding, clean the area with alcohol and a paper towel, and then mask the scratch with tape to avoid any paint drip. Shake the paint bottle for about a minute, then take out the brush while wiping off excess paint along the bottle's edge. Apply a thin layer of paint, moving side to side. Be careful not to go over areas you've already painted, as the paint dries fast and it can create an uneven texture. Let it dry for 20 to 30 minutes before applying another layer. Repeat the process for a second coat. And after it dries, add a thicker third layer. Let it dry for at least an hour. Now that the paint is on, remove the tape at a 45 degrees angle to avoid peeling the paint off with it. You will notice that the new paint stands out above the original layer, so our next step is to level it out. We will do this by sanding with 800 grit paper to create an even surface and blend the new paint with the surrounding area. This is a key step in getting a smooth and uniform finish, so take your time. Keep sanding until the new paint merges seamlessly with the original surface. Check in with your finger to feel if there's any lip. Now when the paint is wet, we can't see any difference between the old and the new paint, But when the water dries out, the surface looks bad with a lot of scratches. Don't lose your faith yet. We continue with the wet sanding. Use 2000 grit sandpaper with a sponge to avoid pressing too hard on specific spots. Sand the area in straight lines, horizontally or vertically. After spraying water, you will see the surface looks rough and dull. Don't worry, that's normal. And we are moving to the next grit. Switch to 3000 grit and repeat the same process, moving side to side. The surface will still look scratched, but a little bit smoother. Finally, move to 5000 grit to smooth out the transition between the newly painted area and the untouched section of the car. This step will make the finish gradually blend together. At this point, the paint will still look dull, but don't stress. We will finish up with polishing. Use a polishing pad and some polish to work the surface in circular motions. This will remove fine scratches and bring back the shine to the paint. You can do this by hand, but it's easier with a drill or a polish machine. Just be careful not to create holograms in the paint by keeping the motion smooth. Once polished, the paint will shine and you will see the result. For a final protective layer, apply wax or a similar product to maintain the look. I will continue to work on the rest of the scratches on the paint and come back in a second. Okay, so I covered some more scratches like I had here. I had here a big scratch. Let me show you the door. You can see that there is no sign to those scratches whatsoever. But after I sanded the paint, I also removed a little bit of clear coat, so I put some more paint and I wait for it to dry, and then I will buff and polish the whole area, and also where I worked here as well as the bumper, and then I show you the final results. For the best finish results, I used a DA polisher this time, which helps me protect the paint while polishing. I used the 3D polish for smooth finish and a microfiber polishing pad. For those of you who want to dive deeper into the polishing process, I've made 2 other videos on polishing techniques on a C4 Corvette, and the other one is on my 1972 Peugeot 204, which you can find linked below. And that's it. After waxing, the car looked as good as new, with a smooth, shiny surface that's free of those annoying scratches. I'm really happy with the results, especially for a car that's 11 years old. Be sure to watch the rest of the video to see how I take care of other scratches and give my whole car a fresh look. I kept buffing the rest of the paint and then applied spray wax all over the car, even on the panels which I didn't work on. Last but not least, I needed to remove the wax residue, which is quite hard, but check out the shine and gloss of that dark Peugeot. I love it. Okay, so before I continue to wipe all the rest of the car, I want to show you what was good and what is not. So, if I stand a little bit far from the door, we cannot see any scratches left and we cannot see any signs of the scratch. But if you take a closer look, then you can see that in some spots I got a little bit too excited and removed some of the clear coat here and here as well. But overall, it's better than the scratches that was here before. And also here I have another spot where I removed too much of the coat. And we can see here on the rear fender, everything looks perfect. On the rear bumper, it was quite a bit harder job because I think the paint is not the same like on the metal parts, but it also looks better than how it was before. So it's not the best, and it's possible that even if I painted the whole area, it wasn't the best and it will cost me a lot more than what I did here. So tell me, what do you think about the results, and see you on the next time.